we start next exercise 7.11. 7.11, and this is about some fundamental properties. Some fundamental properties of definite integrals. So firstly, we will study the properties of definite integration. We also discuss their proofs. So the first property is the value of definite integral is independent. Property number 1. The value of definite integral. The value of definite integral is independent. The value of definite integral. The value of definite integral is independent. Is independent of the variable of integral. Is independent of the variable of integral. This is the first property, that the value of definite integral, the value of definite integral is independent of the variable of integral. As for example, integration a to b, the property is integration a to b fx dx is equals to integration a to b ft dt. Means if the variable gets changed, here the variable was x, here the variable is t. If the variable gets changed, then the value of integral do not change it remains same. Let us see its proof. Let d by dx of fx equals to a small fx. We suppose d by dx of capital Fx equals to a small fx. Now integrate both sides. So integration of d by dx of f of x equals to integration of fx equals to integration of fx. So we know that integration is the anti-derivatives. Integration is the anti-derivatives. Reciprocal anti-derivatives. So integral and d by dx gets cancelled, and we get capital F of x equals to integration of fx. So also we can write in this way that integration fx equals to capital F of x. So at the place of integral fx, a small fx, we use capital Fx. So we have supposed that fx equals to d by dx of fx, capital F of x equals to a small f of x. Then we integrated both sides. So integration, and this is the anti-derivatives. So this and this gets cancelled, and we get capital F of x equals to integration of a small fx. So we can write integration of a small f of x equals to capital F of x. So we use this integral of a small fx equals to capital Fx. Now solve LHS. So LHS is integration from a to b limit f of x and dx. Integral of f of x dx. So we can write this as, we can write f of x equals to f of x dx. Integral of f of x dx is written as capital Fx. Here when we put integral sign, it becomes dx. So fx dx equals to f of x. So f of x dx, this can be written as capital F of x, capital F of x, and limit from a to b. When we put the limit, we get f of b minus f of a. This is our LHS. Now RHS, integration a to b f of t dt. So similar to f of x dx is written as capital of fx. So f of t dt is written as capital F of t, and limit from a to b. So we put the limit. So fb minus f. So LHS is equals to RHS. So this property has proved that integration a to b fx dx equals to integration a to b ft dt. Means if the variable gets changed, then integral remains constant, it will remain same. So the value of definite integral is independent, it doesn't depend on the variable of integral. Due to the change in variable, the value of definite integral doesn't change. Let us see one of the example. Integration 1 to 2. Integration limit 1 to 2 x square dx must be equals to integration 1 to 2 and y square dy. The variable has been changed, but the value remains same and the limit is same. So let us solve this. Integration of x square dx, this becomes x cube by 3 or 1 by 3 and x cube, and limit is taken from 1 to 2. Integration of y square dy, 1 by 3 y cube, and limit from 1 to 2. Now put the limit. So 2 the cube minus 1 cube equals to 1 by 3, 2 cube minus 1 cube. So we get 8 minus 1, 7 by 3 equals to 7 by 3. So the value of the integral remains same when the variable gets changes. So the value of definite integral is independent of the variable of integral. This is the first property. So the first property which we get, integration of fx dx. First property, integration a to b f of x dx equals to integration a to b f of t and d. Now let us see the next property, and this is integration a to a fx dx equals to 0. P2, property number 2. Integration a to a fx dx equals to 0. Means if the lower limit and upper limit is same, then the value of integral must be 0. So put integration fx dx can be written as capital F of x. Write in this way, LHS equals to integration a to a f of x dx, and for fx dx we can write capital F of x. Previously we have seen that fx dx is written as capital F of x. Now put the limit. So f of a, at the place of x we put the upper limit, and at the place of a we put the lower limit at the place of x. So we get 0. So this is the RHS. So the second property comes that integration a to a f of x dx equals to 0. If the lower limit and upper limit of the integral is same, then its integration would be 0. For example, suppose question is like I equals to integration limit pi by 4 to pi by 4 and cos x dx. So integral of cos x is minus of sin x. So minus sin x and limit pi by 4 to pi by 4. So minus outside, put the limit. So sin pi by 4 and minus sin pi by 4. And we get the value of sin pi by 4 is 1 by root 2 minus 1 by root 2. It gets cancelled and we get the result as 0. So this is the second property. Now we talk about the third property. The sign of definite integral changes. The sign of definite integral changes on interchanging the limits. The sign of definite integral, the sign of definite integral changes on interchanging the limits. On interchanging the limits. If we interchange the limits, then the sign of definite integral gets changed. Interchanging the limits means lower limit becomes upper limit and upper limit becomes lower limit. Then sign gets changes. So integration limit a to b f of x dx must be equals to minus integration b to a f of x dx. So we have interchanges the limit. Lower and upper limit gets interchanged. Then the sign of definite integral changes. So solve this proof. LHS integration a to b f of x dx, and integral fx dx is written as capital F of x and limit from a to b and put the limit. So we get f of b minus f of a. This is our LHS. Then RHS minus integration b to a f of x dx, and integral of fx dx is capital F of x and limit from b to a. So minus outside, put the limit. So f of a minus f of b, and remove the bracket. So minus becomes plus. So f of b minus f of a. So this is RHS and this is LHS. So this becomes the third property, that integration a to b fx dx equals to minus integral b to a fx dx. If we interchanges the limit, then the value of integral gets changes. On interchanging the limit, the value of integral gets changed. This is the third property. Let us see one of the example. Integration 2 to 3. Integration limit 2 to 3 x square minus 1 dx is equals to minus integral 3 to 2 and x square minus 1 dx. So solve LHS. So integration of 2 to 3 x square minus 1 dx. Separate the term 2 to 3 x square dx minus 2 to 3 dx. So integration of x square dx is 1 by 3 x cube limit 2 to 3 minus integration of dx is x and limit 2 to 3. So 1 by 3, 3 the cube 27 minus 2 the cube 8 minus 3 minus 2. So we get 19 by 3 and minus 1 means 16 by 3. This is our LHS. Now solve RHS. So RHS is minus integration minus limit 3 to 2 and x square minus 1 dx. So this can be separated. Minus integration 3 to 2 x square dx and minus plus integration 3 to 2 and dx. Then integrate x square dx, it becomes 1 by 3 x cube and limit 3 to 2 and plus integration of dx is x and limit from 3 to 2. Now put the limit. So minus 1 by 3, 2 the cube 8, 3 the cube 27 and plus 2 minus 3 plus 2 minus 3. So 8 minus 27 minus 19 and minus plus 19 by 3 and this is minus 1 and we get 16 by 3. So we get the same result. So this is the third number property, that integral a to b fx dx is equals to minus integration b to a fx dx. Now next property, the interval of integration can be decomposed. The interval of integration can be decomposed into different sub-intervals. The interval of integration can be decomposed into different sub-intervals. Interval of integration, interval of definite integral can be decomposed. Interval of definite integral can be decomposed into different sub-intervals. As for example, integration a to b fx dx is written as integration a to c fx dx plus integration limit c to b fx dx, where a is less than c is less than b, means the value of c lies between a and b, and if there are so many intervals like a is less than c1 is less than c2 is less than c3 dash dash is less than cn is less than b. So between a and b, if there are so many intervals, then this can be written as integration a to b fx dx. We can decompose into several integrals like integration limit a to c1 fx dx plus integral c1 to c2 fx dx plus integral c2 to c3 fx dx plus dash dash, and before cn there is cn minus 1. So integral cn minus 1 to cn fx dx, and the last term plus integral cn to b fx dx. So we can decompose into several intervals. This is the fourth property. Now we can prove this. Let us see the proof of this property. So LHS is integration a to b f of x dx, and we know that fx dx integral is written as capital F of x and limit from a to b. Put the limit, so we get f of b minus f of a. Then we solve RHS, and RHS is integral a to c fx dx plus integral c to b fx dx. So a to c fx dx, this can be written as capital F of x, and a to c plus this can be written as capital F of x, and from c to b. Now put the limit. So we get f of c minus f of a plus f of b and minus f of c. Firstly put the upper limit at the place of x, then minus sign, and then put the lower limit. So fc plus minus gets cancelled, and we get the result f of b minus f of x. So this is RHS and this is LHS. So the fourth property is integration a to b fx dx is equals to integration a to c fx dx plus integration c to b fx dx. This is the fourth property. Let us see an example based on this property. Integration 0 to pi cos x plus cos 3x dx. Integration 0 to pi cos x plus integration 0 to pi cos x plus 3x dx. Cos x plus 3x dx can be written as integration 0 to pi by 2 cos x plus 3x dx plus integration of pi by 2 to pi and cos x plus 3x dx. So here the value of c we have taken is pi by 2. We can take any value of c, but it must be lies between 0 to pi. We can take 0 to pi by 4 cos x plus cos 3x and pi by 4 to pi also. The value of c must be taken in the interval in between interval 0 to pi. So let us solve this LHS first. So LHS integration 0 to pi and cos x plus 3x dx. So this will be separated. Integration 0 to pi cos x dx, and 3 is the constant term taken outside, x dx, and limit from 0 to pi. The integration of cos x is sin x, and limit from 0 to pi plus 3 as it is. Integration of x dx is x square by 2, 3 by 2 x square, and 0 to pi. Then put the limit. So sin pi minus sin 0 plus 3 by 2 and pi square minus 0. So sin pi is 0, sin 0 is 0. So we get the result 3 by 2 pi square or 3 pi square by 2. Then we solve RHS. So this is integration 0 to pi by 2 cos x dx plus 3 taken outside 0 to pi by 2 x dx plus 0 to pi by 2 cos x dx and plus 3 integration 0 to pi by 2 and x dx. Now integration of cos x is sin x and limit from 0 to pi by 2. This is pi by 2 to pi by 2 to pi. And this is also pi by 2 to pi. So integration of cos x sin x limit 0 to pi by 2. Integration of x dx, x square by 2. So 3 by 2 x square 0 to pi by 2. Integration of cos x sin x pi by 2 to pi, pi by 2 to pi, and plus 3 integration of x dx, x square by 2. So 3 by 2 x square and pi by 2 to pi. Now put the limit. So sin pi by 2 minus sin 0 plus 3 by 2 limit pi by 2 minus 0 plus sin pi minus sin pi by 2 and plus 3 by 2 and pi square minus pi square by 4. Now the value of sin pi by 2 is 1, sin 0 is 0, plus 3 pi by 4. The value of sin pi is 0, the value of sin pi by 2 is 1, plus 3 by 2 pi square. 3 by 2 pi square, and this becomes 3 by 2 pi square minus 3 by 8 pi square. 3 by 8 pi square. 3 pi by 4 sin pi by 2 minus sin 0. Sin 0 0, sin 91, and then 3 by 2 and x square. 3 by 2 there is x square. So x square means pi square by 4 plus. So it becomes sin 0 0, 3 by 8 pi square. 3 by 8 pi square. So plus 1 minus 1 cancel, plus and minus cancelled, and we get the result 3 by 2 pi square. So this is our RHS and this is LHS. So this property has been proved that integration a to b fx dx is written as a to c fx dx plus integration c to b fx dx.